for more, but let's go over to Renee for your news.
Thank you very much, Alvis. Now, the ANC's battle plan to retain control most of the country's municipalities will come under scrutiny today when the party finalises its candidates list for the August 3rd local elections. Party leaders will meet in Irene, north of Pretoria, to select mayor and councillor candidates for the poll. The ANC is facing what is expected to be a fierce electoral battle with the opposition, Democratic Alliance and EFF, eyeing to take control of metro councils run by the ANC. The ruling party has been running against time to finalise the candidates list. Factional battles have led to violent clashes, even political killings, as members squabble over who should make it to the final list. The party recommended 3 names to communities, leaving it to them for final decision. It will be the first time that the ANC announces mayoral candidates for metros and district municipalities ahead of the elections. The extended National Executive Committee meeting is expected to receive the reports on the much talked about state capture. Right, let's go over to Alvis with more on that story.
That's right, Renee, our reporter Aldrin Sampear now joins us to take the story forward. It's an interesting take on the story and interesting time of the year to do that. So that particular meeting, the National Executive Committee meeting, how important is that for the ANC?
Well, it's a very important meeting for the ANC. First of all, it's first the list conference, which ends today, Friday being Friday, and we're expecting a press conference from the ANC to give us some of the details that came out of that list conference. And then immediately after that, that's when the NEC meeting then starts. And the role of the NEC is really to endorse some of the names, or where they see that something worth disputing, that they can raise these issues and be referred back to the different regions and then confirm all the names. And what we should also remember is that the ANC is running against a really tight deadline because they have to submit these names to the IEC. And if I'm not mistaken, the deadline is sometime next week where all the candidates will be running for the elections. Their names have to be known by the IEC.
Can we expect some interesting names to pop out of that list?
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what will happen with the outcomes of the list conference, because specifically looking at what has been happening in KZN with all the infighting that has also led to killings, the Northwest as well as the Northern Cape, where we've seen ANC members protesting outside their regional and provincial offices, disputing the outcomes of their provincial list conferences, and the accusations that the ANC has been, or the mother body as well as the provincial bodies imposing names on the different regions. So we'll have to wait and see what the outcome there is. But I see there's a story this morning where it indicates that the mayor of Tshwane, the current mayor of Tshwane, who might not be available, might not come back rather as the mayor of the city of Tshwane. But what's interesting about this story, and looking back at the press conference delivered by Mantashe earlier this week when he was explaining the list conference, is that in cases like, let's say for instance now, something like this, where the region has decided that they don't want this person to come back as the mayor of that particular region, what they can do is that the NEC can dispute that, because every mayor has a mandatory two terms that they have to serve as the mayor of the certain region.
Now, apparently this is the first time that the ANC is doing this before the elections, where the people can actually look at the list and say, listen, we agree or disagree. Why is that so important for the ruling party?
I think what the ANC has done really great compared to what other political parties have done is that with the ANC's nomination of different candidates, is when it starts at a local level where community members are given a list of names. Those people are then nominated, and those community members at different meetings then decide which person they would want to see elected. And these don't have to be necessarily ANC members. They can be different ordinary members of the public in the communities and say that this is the person that I would want to see become the mayor of, or rather see become the councillor of my ward specifically. And now we see the ANC coming out and saying that for the first time we'll be announcing who the mayoral candidates will be, which is something that the ANC has never done before. And it seems to emphasize the importance or how crucial the ANC sees these elections to be considering that we have all the different metros that opposition parties are trying to gun for.
Mm-hmm. So this seems to be like an inclusive participative process where you include the communities to talk to the ruling party. Yeah. So running up to that, this particular list conference, which will be later today, what else can we expect to come out of that?
Well, because this is the final arbiter when it comes to the list conferences, of course, there have different appeals that could have been made running up to these elections, or rather the confirmation of the list. This is also the final place where those who have grievances can list those grievances or make a complaint to the ANC and wanting those names to be overturned or want new candidates to be put in.
Aldrin, thank you so much for your time and joining us in studio.
Thank you.
That was our reporter Aldrin Sampear giving us an update. You will be on the lookout for the list conference and, of course, the media conference that will come out of that one. But right now, the